Welcome to Darwinton.com. Today we're going to take a look at a keyboard case for the iPad Air 2. This is Belkin's Qode case. And what this is, by looking at the cover, it's a keyboard case. Looks very standard fare with the keyboard and the attached kind of case that holds, or attached shell that holds the tablet. Now, barring looks, what's special about this is that the case or shell part of it that contains your iPad Air 2 can actually detach. And so you have the flexibility of using it with the keyboard or just as a tablet by itself. So let's take a look at it, pair it up with my iPad Air 2, and see what kind of performance it is and see how it looks and behaves. Okay, so here's an overhead view. Here's the case, and it has a nice easy open box, a little magnetic strip over here that opens it up and reveals the keyboard right there for you. So we can take it right out, and you see it's pretty lightweight. I'm actually very surprised how light this is. And right off the bat you can see that there is a magnetic clasp here. You can see a kind of grip on it. So you see the Belkin logo, nice set of keys here, a good size, good feel to them. Now the keys are backlit, which is kind of nice. And oh yes, one of the cool things about this supposedly is that you have the option to pair it up with two devices. So if your phone is available, you can pair it with your phone with a touch of a button. So we'll see how that's like. And we see the two positions over here. So position 1, position 2. So it doesn't look like it uses a magnet to attach. Looks like just some rubber here for it to meet. But we'll get a feel for how that is once I put the actual device in it. So you can see that there's a hinge here, and you can pull it right off. So this looks, it does use a magnet to attach it, and so you can yank this off and toss this to the side. Alright, looking at this thing, it's pretty thin. And we see back here is where the micro USB cable goes for charging the device. So it's pretty slim overall. And we can see that, look at the case here. Looks like it's actually pretty well, the shell here actually is pretty well made. It's not flimsy, so it's got some good edges. So it's got some edges here for the buttons that are open. So looks like they're at least somewhat sizable, so they're not flimsy looking, so they look like they won't snap right away, which is good because I know some cases tend to be kind of thin, and this actually looks like it's got a good level of protection to it. Now looking at here, we have some, looks like some spots here for I think these are magnets actually. I'm not too sure because they don't really stick out very much. They're not grippy, so I'm guessing they're for the magnets. So we can then basically put it here and attach it right back on. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my tablet in here and give it a go. Anything else? Well, let's see. We have your micro USB charging cable on the side here, and that's about all you get. Alright, so there you have it. I'll look at the case without the tablet. Let's go put the tablet in and see how it works. Alright, so here I have my iPad Air 2, and we have the case here. And after, just a comment, after I spent a little time messing around with this thing, I found out what these are. These are actually magnets, so that it's for the back cover piece, so that it can clasp on in different ways. We'll talk about that after I put things on. So I'm going to take this off for now, put this to the side, and let's slip my iPad Air 2 in. Alright, so okay, so there it is. So it's in. So we'll talk about real quick the material. This is kind of like a I can't describe it as kind of, it's like a rubbery like material back here. It actually feels quite good. So it's not slippery, and it gives you a good gripping surface on the top. So looking closely, we will see that there's plenty of space here for the volume rocker, microphone. Over here, got plenty of space for the camera, power button. And you'll notice that it's actually relatively thick too. So it actually has a good amount of protection. So it's not flimsy. So it's a likelihood of this snapping is pretty slim. So you can see that it's quite a thick piece that surrounds it. So it offers a pretty good amount of protection. So here we see that it's got you can kind of see a little bit more clearly kind of how thick the edges are to offer a bit more protection than just a simple shell. And so no obstruction for the headphone jack. Opening area here for well, actually, if you want, this could probably work with smart cover if you have one. And one thing that's really kind of cool, I have to say right here, is that other cases tend to go flush along the edge, but you notice that there's actually openings here. And these openings are for the speakers. So if I were to kind of pry this loose again, you'll see how the speakers for the iPad Air 2 are here. And you notice that there's openings that are just there, so it'll actually direct the sound towards you. So that's very cool. It's a very nice feature that I wasn't expecting to see on this case. So there it is. It's all in. And so now what we can do is we take the keyboard and flip this over. And so this is where that was kind of the horizontal set was here. And you can see kind of lays in. And if I can just get it in the right spot. Oh, upside down, sorry. Do it this way. See, it snaps right in. And see, it kind of holds that way. The whole thing snaps right down. So this part hovers over it. And this is once again kind of like a rubbery, leathery-like material, which actually feels quite good. And it's actually kind of a non-slip material, so it'll grip. It's a bit grippy, which is really nice. Plenty of clearance here for the lightning connector. And so it's got a good clasp here, so I'm kind of it's not going to fly open on you, which is really nice. And so once you kind of pry it open, of course the device turns on. So it does have that kind of capability. So the cool thing then is obviously the part that it can snap on. So it snaps on in this position. This is one position, and this is the second position. So for more of a steeper angle, more acute angle. And here's the other test: is you can lift it up. I'm kind of shaking it around, and it's actually able to stay on. So it's actually quite a strong magnet that's holding it in place. So you see I'm kind of, it holds itself quite well in that sense. So that's kind of how it's set up. So I'm going to move down to a desk level so we can kind of see how this works and we get a better, clearer view of actual usage. Okay, so here we are at a more eye-level usage view here, and so you can see from here how the tablet sits. This is in the topmost, most steepest angle here, and we can lift this up and slip this over here, and we can see now it's at the other angle. So two different angles you can play with. You can see the keyboard is exceptionally thin, which is really kind of nice, but yet it's really nice because the backside here is actually aluminum. And so, alright, well, you can see that the keyboard actually stays attached to the iPad quite well. It's not budging. So the interesting thing also is that when the tablet actually hits the magnet over here, there's a little light over here that actually turns on, so indicating that it is active. The only goofy thing I didn't notice, though, I want to point out is that, wow, see, if you can see it closely, when I'm lifting up over here, you see this part where this part kind of comes up a bit. And I don't think it's going to cause any long-term problems, but it's something very interesting that it's a bit of a, I don't know if it's a weak joint over here because of the LED, but it's kind of funny that, well, see, so once it's on, it's in usage mode. Now I paired this already, and actually pairs very, very fast. So once it's on, I can simply tap this and get into the device. So, for example, let's move this back a bit here so you can see, make the angle a little more steep here. So here we are. So what we can do is we can run some programs like I was messing around with Word before. So let's go into Word and let me just delete all that. So here we go, we can start typing. Oops. Which is my typing sometimes leaves a lot to be desired, so I apologize for that. Now, keys are a little bit mushy, but I'm kind of used to that kind of. It's a very similar feel to what a MacBook Pro kind of has for their keyboards, with a MacBook keyboard. So it's not too bad. So it's something if you're used to. This is actually pretty good. It's overall very, very comfortable. So now the interesting thing about the case, let's just talk about it real quick, is one thing you can do, unlike other cases that are like this, because there are plenty of other cases that kind of have this angle. All right, so what's the big deal? Well, the nice thing about it is you can take it off. All right, and then I can flip it this way, and I gotta attach it back on, and have it. You can see it this way. You can see now I have it in a portrait mode instead of landscape. So for those that want a taller view, this handles it just fine. So you can see that it still holds itself quite well. I get the same two angles, although it does kind of come off a bit. Let's hold that again. There we go. Pop that on. There. So you can have that secondary angle as well. So that's one of the nice things about this I found, is that you can actually do that. A lot of cases are going to be stuck in landscape mode, but this one you can actually have the option of using a portrait or landscape. That's an excellent feature. I thought that was very, very cool. That's one of the reasons why I gravitated towards it, because I wanted a lighter keyboard to carry around with me, but then also have the ability to use it in such a way. So that's a big bonus right there. Alright, so another thing we can talk about is obviously the FN key gives the option to raise and lower the volume. Alright, so I can basically control that. I have the standard home key here, and I can simply FN home to lock the screen, turn it back on. I get myself back in there with my good old Touch ID. And the cool thing is that there is an option. If you look at the key layout here, you can see that there's the various different keys here. You got the various function keys here, media keys, volume, and then over here there's an interesting one here. There's a Bluetooth 1 and 2. So the nifty thing about this is that Bluetooth 1 can be here, Bluetooth 2 can be another device, say your iPhone, or in my case, I was kind of messing around with an Android phone, which I put somewhere to get it. So alright, I'm going to pause real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and here I want to show you that I have an Android phone. I have an LG G4. I don't have an iPhone anymore. So the question will be, will this keyboard pair up with it? Let's try it out. Now, I'm doing this because some of my viewers have always suggested that I show how easy or difficult it is to pair up a device. So I forgot the pairings, so I basically unpaired all the devices here, and so we'll go through it. So here we go. I'm going to go to the settings here, and I'm already in the Bluetooth here, so I was going to search for devices. Now, like I said before, when you click this down, it will turn on the keyboard. Now I can hit FN, and hold FN and the backspace, which puts it into pairing mode. And let's see, it should find it in a moment. Let's see here. Come on. Should start blinking faster. Well, let's go and turn the Bluetooth off. Have it scan again. Alright, so there. So let's see. So you see it's blinking quickly here. The keyboard shows up as Belkin Ultimate Keyboard. Click on that. And alright, Bluetooth pairing request will pair. There it is. So now I can turn it off, turn it back on. Alright, I can get to everything now. So that's kind of cool. So there. So that was all it takes to pair it up with the keyboard. Alright, so what about this guy? Well, I'm going to basically see the plus equal signs here. There's an extra Bluetooth number 2 here. So I'm going to hold FN and hold that key down. If I can show you here. And it should, so now I see it's flashing kind of a white color now. So it's in pairing mode for the second device. So I'm going to basically unlock my phone. if I can put the keyboard password right. There we go. So I'm going to then go to my settings in my Bluetooth and make sure I'm going to search for it. There it is. See Belkin Ultimate Keyboard. Click on that. Alright, there it is. It's paired up. So now, with it enabled, I can go to say, how about I'll go to a Bing search here and start typing something. So let's move this closer. I will prop this over here. Let's see. Oops, how about, actually, how about I just go to Chrome? We'll see where I was before. Alright, go to my website. So there. So you can see that it's able to work with an Android device just fine. So there you have it. So you can pair it up with it and simply toggle between the two. So now that I want to go back to my iPad, I can hit FN backspace and the LED turns blue, and so now I'm back in the iPad. So it's really kind of cool. So it's really neat that I can actually use it on another device and my iPad at the same time. It's actually really, really cool. The only thing that you could probably, I'm guessing you could probably do with a Windows device too if you wanted to. The only thing about Windows devices is that these keyboards for Android and for iOS, they don't have FN function keys. They typically don't. So as you see from here, there's a lot of other functions, but there's no F1 through F12 key here. So if you can get away with it on a Windows device, you could probably use it. Something to think about that may or may not be a problem for you. So, all right. What else can we look at? How about? Oh well, one thing you can do is you can use the keyboard separately, completely out of being hooked up together. And how you can do that is the flap here will fold over, and being folded over like so, actually turns the device on, and you can actually use it. If you want this prop somewhere else at the same time, and actually still have access to the keyboard. So that's kind of a nice thing to be able to do. Alright, so how does this compare to other keyboard cases? Now, if you've seen some of my other videos, I do have another keyboard case I have been using for a little while. And it is the flip turn case, actually. So I have it here. Let me clear this out of the way. And there's the black one. Now, I want to mention this actually comes in a white and black. And the white one is a silverish and kind of a gray white. Actually, I think it looks very, very nice, considering I have a white iPad Air 2. And here's the flip turn case I've been using for a little while. And as you can see, I don't know if I can show it properly this way, but let's see here. Let's back up a little bit, both of them. So you kind of see that the depth and the size is actually quite a bit different. So with the flip turn, you can see that there's a bigger edge of over here where the tablet sat higher because to make way for the hinge. And the flip turn case obviously can do this kind of turning thing where you can turn it around this way and you can tent it, which is kind of nice. That's something I don't think you really can do with tenting. Is something I don't think you can really do with this. Or maybe you could. I suppose you could. Yeah, I guess you could. So, that's kind of clumsy that way. So, if you like to tent your tablet, this may not be the right way. Might not be the right case to do it with. So, I'm trying to get it to play on. Sometimes it's tricky. So, but as you can see from the depth of the keyboard itself, though, let's get a closer look at the depth of the keyboard here. Actually, I'm going to plug this out of the way. So, you can see the depth of the keyboard itself is noticeably smaller on the Belkin than the flip turn. Weight-wise, the flip turn is actually a bit heavier. So let's look at the keys, though. Key placement here. It's kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can turn this on and get the backlighting on here. We can see it maybe a little bit better. Maybe not. Alright, well, I'm not going to get it on. Well, alright, never mind. So you can see from here, key placement. You see the keys are bigger on the Belkin than they are on the flip turn. At least placement-wise, I think it's a little bit more. I think it's better laid out though. Like the number keys are the same size as the other letter keys, so not as small as this. And the key distance for the typing is I think a lot less travel than on the flip turn. And just as in general, the keys feel a lot nicer on the Belkin. Now, of course, the one thing you have to say is that obviously this is not as expensive as the Belkin. So for $120 to $130, this had better be a lot nicer. So not to say that the flip turn is not good. Flip turn is actually quite good. I've used it for quite a long time. But I wanted something that's a little bit more flexible, because this one, obviously, you're kind of married into this kind of laptop-esque setup. And sometimes I don't want to carry around all this. And the nice thing about the Belkin is that it gives me the option to use it. I can just take this off and use it as a regular tablet for a while. So I have a shell for protection. So it's really quite nice. Alright, so one last thing to talk about is backlighting. Because if you've followed any of my other videos, I am a stickler for backlighting. I love backlighting on keyboards because I'm in dark areas a lot and I am a terrible touch typist. So let's take a look at what the backlighting is on this guy. Alright, so the FN key there will bring the backlighting up, and of course you can't see the lights on, so I'm going to dim the lights and let's take a look at the backlighting. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I've dimmed most of the lights here, and you can see from this angle that you can see the backlighting. So let's take a look at it closer. So you see the backlighting is actually quite good. It illuminates the keys all around, so you can see that the keys are well lit. And so on the edges as well as the letters themselves. Let's see, is there any way to... So hitting the FN5 key brings the illumination up further. Let's see how much further. And one more time, we got even more illumination. And then fourth time it goes off. So 1 for low, 2 for medium, 3 for more intensity. And so you can see from here, it illuminates really nicely. I really like the illumination. It just looks awesome on this keyboard. I'm actually very impressed with this keyboard. I really do like it. It made the silver and the white go along really well. It feels great. It doesn't weigh a lot. And if so here's something. If I close it, light's still on. So I want to be careful about leaving these on. Yeah, the cover sticks really good. It's not gonna open up on you unless you want it to. So you might want to make sure you turn the illumination off properly before you turn it off, I think. So come on, turn it off. It seems like it's kind of stuck in a funny mode where it's stuck on. Wake up. Oh, it didn't pair right for some reason. Oh, there we go. Oh, there it goes. Okay, there. That was kind of weird, but alright. So once again, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So then you can take it, turn it off, and you're good to go. So we turn the lights back on and we'll conclude this video. Alright, so there we have it. So this is a look at the Belkin Qode. I'm guessing that's how it's pronounced. I'm really sorry if I pronounced it wrong. But this is their Ultimate Pro keyboard case for the iPad Air 2. It is quite a nice case. I actually do like it a lot. The back end here does a good job of holding it, so it's not going to flip over or fall over on you. The magnets are very strong. It definitely holds it in place without much issue. You don't have to worry about it falling on you. The keys are really nice. Illumination on the backlighting is excellent. And the shell is really nice. And the aesthetics of it are really very nice. I mean, just I can't say enough about how well it kind of fits together. So closing it up real nice here. Very strong magnets. It's not going to flop open on you. It's really quite sturdy in that sense. Doesn't add a whole lot of thickness to it, which is good. Something you want to carry this around. Don't want it to be too thick. And it's got little feet up here for balance. And this part it's got a lot of grip, so when it's on a surface, it's not really going to slide around as much. It's really nice. So there you have it. A look at Belkin's Qode Ultimate Pro keyboard case for the iPad Air 2. If there's anything you haven't seen or something that I did not cover, please let me know. Subscribe and send me some feedback and let me know what works and what doesn't work. Thanks for watching.